I mean, you talked a bit there about reproducibility issues and about how big that is a challenge in new fields. I mean, could you give us a little more concretely, what specifically should researchers be doing to make sure that as we get these astounding new results, like the one you mentioned of plant RNA getting into our bodies through what we eat, through these exosomes?
Yeah.
What do you want to see from this field as it's starting up here?
It's pretty basic stuff, and it's not something that would not have been stated 10 years ago. I think, though, in our rush, particularly when something is very exciting, and particularly when our fields of science right now are hyper-competitive, in part because of the limitation in resources, which can lead to sort of an unhealthy attitude. Sometimes some sloppiness sort of sneaks in, that the right controls were not quite done. You had a control, but it wasn't the perfect one. You didn't repeat the experiment 2 or 3 times to be sure you always got the same result. You didn't look at males and females if you're looking at animals or even at cells separately to see whether sex is a biological variable. It turned out to be pretty important. You just sort of glossed over that. Or when you finally got your paper submitted, either just because there was a space constraint or because you were tired of writing that section, or, sorry to say, in some instances, because people didn't really want to give away a few of their lab secrets, your experimental methods were actually not complete enough for a well-intentioned person to be able to reproduce the experiment. These are basics. This isn't rocket science, but it is something that I think we as a field of biology, and of course it's true in other sciences as well, need to kind of renew our attention and our commitment that we're about doing science that's rigorous, that's going to hold up. We're looking for truth. At the moment, sometimes it seems almost that getting that almighty paper in one of the CNS journals, Cell, Nature, Science, CNS Disease, means that it's almost doesn't matter so much if it's true or not, but as long as you got it published. And if somebody else finds out later it wasn't, well, okay, that's the way science goes. And sometimes that is the way science goes, but sometimes the initial report wasn't as well done as it might be. And I'm particularly making a case here, and probably too much of a case, because I see this field as so full of potential, so new, but also controversial. And you don't want to sort of get off on a foot where the rest of the scientific community begins to conclude that exosomal RNA is a lot of phenomenology and it hasn't really been rigorously looked at. I think that potential here of getting this field into a very solid space is incredibly compelling. Let's just be sure we get there.